We had groups of people going out on a daily basis. We did no transactions whatsoever for those 3 weeks.
Everybody came together and pitched in and worked for each other and with each other.
Checking in on people, taking beds to them, taking supplies to them.
Well, I don't think water bottles and stuff prepare you for losing your things.
I never had to think about it. I lived in the Northeast. Like, yeah, we had hurricanes, but they weren't severe or there wasn't really a lot of flooding.
Seeing everybody come together after Harvey and just be a community and show that Houstonian pride and like Texas strong and Houston strong and whatever, like Houston became my home. My
girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she was on the 3rd floor and her like whole apartment got just flooded.
My car and house flooded less than a year after being here, so.
Our family was not impacted by Harvey nearly like everybody else was, because there were specific team members that encountered flooding on the first night. I got a phone call from Sydney that her house was starting to flood that she was renting.
When I was wading out to him, the water kind of got up to my waist, and I was holding my suitcase above my head, and Lance is like at the end of the driveway laughing at me. And I made it out to him, and we looked back at my car, and my neighbor, whose house didn't even flood because that's how different the property levels were, she's like, "Oh, is that your car?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a total loss." So I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Your car, it's gonna be totaled. It's going to flood and it's going to be totaled."
Looking back, my entire mindset wasn't about where the water was or what was happening around the area. It was go get Sydney and do whatever it takes to pick her up and, save her.
If someone hadn't told me that I should leave my house, I probably would have been stuck there for a week because our whole first floor flooded.
All the team leaders in this region were on calls, daily calls, to try to organize an effort.
Keller Williams always sets up some sort of location.
Keller Williams International was calling us freaking out because they thought that they had a location to start receiving packages, and that had fallen through. And so they had no place available. One of our listing agents, her softball coach, actually had just gotten a warehouse.
Without asking for any compensation, without asking for anything financially, just said, "Come on, come use my space. I'm so glad I have it to offer."
He let us use the entire warehouse. It was like 2 giant rooms, and it was more than enough space. And he even let us use part of his office.
It was 25,000 square feet. It was just like a godsend. We couldn't have asked for anything better than what happened.
KW agents came from all over the country.
We had 3 18-wheelers of supplies show up from different KW offices and agents around the country.
So there was one side of it that was like a store, but where people could come if they didn't have things, if they lost everything or they just needed basic supplies.
So it was a warehouse, and we were just making like kind of like survival kits or whatever, just like toilet paper and necessity kits and stuff like that.
It was really neat to see all of our people just step in, take control, make everything really efficient, and the process go as well as it did.
We really realized that Harvey was going to be a very different hurricane when it was very apparent that people were getting trapped in their homes. To be a parent like that lady that's, I guess, what I'll never forget, and talking to her and hearing the fear in her voice. And she said, "I only have this much cell phone battery left to be calling and ask for help because all of her outlets were underwater." She was on the kitchen counter, and she's like, I can't charge my cell phone anymore. I have no other, so this is all I've got. That makes it a different storm.
Literally after the first day, I kept trying to drive around the city in whatever location I could. And even on the second day of the flooding occurring, I had to take 7 different routes to get to the destination. I would have never expected that before. I've thought, well, I can get here some way, somehow. And it was near impossible. I would have never expected that. And then the length of time it took for the water to subside, it was weeks. So I think the biggest effect that Hurricane Harvey had on me personally was seeing how the team came together.
Lots of people working together was just amazing. And, you know, we're so lucky being at Keller Williams. People ask us all the time, you know, why do you stay at Keller Williams? Why wouldn't you go out on your own? And there's so many reasons.
How people's situations are different no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, I walked past cars that were filled to the top with water, and me having nothing wrong, like these people, you know what I mean? Like, these people lost like everything they have and stuff like that, and them helping other people was just like, says more about them.
I think the biggest positive impact was just seeing how far our reach is with KW Cares, with TLG Gives, and seeing all of the resources that we have through this incredible network. So I love that. I've never seen anything like that until I was a part of it. And then just the simple things, like seeing how everyone was so ready to mobilize and help at the drop of a hat.
Focused on helping each other out, focused on helping other people out, and coming together to bond in such a manner that anything's possible with this organization.